The date is October 24th in the year 2024. My name is Anita Hecht, and I have the great pleasure and honor of interviewing Eppy Garcia, otherwise your full name Epifanio,
Yes, ma'am.
to record the stories of your life here in Garden City on behalf of the FINIP Foundation and the Garden City Oral History Project. So thank you.
You bet. Thank you.
So we're here at 114 West Walnut Street in Garden City, and thanks again, Eppy, for doing this archive. It's an important archive of stories about Garden City.
Mm-hmm.
But to start with, I'd like to ask you to tell us when and where you were born.
Well, I was born in Garden City, Kansas, St. Catherine Hospital, 1947. July 12, 1947.
And how old are you today?
77.
All right. Tell me about your name. What do you know about either your first or your last name and where they come from?
You know, I've asked that question a lot of times, but something had to do with this third star. Well, something had to do with the third star.
Okay.
And that's how as far as I got, you know.
Okay.
But
And you've always been called Eppy?
for short.
Yeah. Okay.
When I was in school, they had a hard time saying Epifanio, so the nuns call me Eppy for short.
I see. And how big was your family, your immediate family? Was your mother, your father, did you have siblings?
Well, I had two sisters. And my mother, well, she was born in Colorado. And my dad was born in the olden days, way back, for the story I got, that he was born in Holcomb, Kansas.
Really?
That at the time when they had the mother, they call them the still mothers, that did the delivery at the olden days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
At home.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about his background. Your father was also Epifanio?
Yes, ma'am. But at that time, they couldn't pronounce the name Epifanio, so they called him Pete.
They called him Pete.
Yeah.
What do you know about his family history?
Well, my grandfather came from Mexico, and my grandmother. And matter of fact, my dad was the only one who was born here in the U.S. My uncle and aunt were all born in Mexico. But when my grandfather moved here, they stayed here and they worked at a place called the Sugar Beet Factory in Garden City way back then. And
what kind of work did they do there?
You know, I've asked a lot of questions about it. They had to do with the sugar beet, but I don't know. They just didn't answer my questions the way I've bugged them. But it was a hard work, but they did it. And then my uncle took me out enough to do the sugar beets at the time, because at the time they couldn't find a babysitter, so I was with my uncle and aunt hoeing when I was real small, find out more about the sugar beets.
You remember that?
Well, I remember some of it.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
So you were hoeing sugar beets when you were a little kid.
Well.
How did they find out about Garden City, Kansas as a place to come to?
When they moved here, they liked it, but they were one place to another, and my grandfather liked Garden City real good. His name was Cipriano Garcia, and my grandmother was Cipriana Garcia. But my grandfather had some stories to where when in his young days when he was in Mexico, I was found out from my aunt and uncle that he was with a group at the time that he was with Pancho Villa.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at his young days he fought with him.
He fought with him?
Yeah, and then somehow when it was all over with, they moved over here in the U.S.
I see. Was there a large Hispanic community when they came here? Were there other?
Not much.
Not much. And do you know what life was like for your dad growing up here?
It was rough. It was rough. There were, uh, the Hispanic then was kind of like treated like the black people, you know. There was a lot of prejudice,
Mm-hmm.
but they made it through it.
Any particular stories you heard?
Well, the movie theater, the town theater at the time was on Main Street. Uh, if they went to the movies, they had to sit upstairs. They couldn't sit downstairs. Uh,
Did they live in a separate part of town? Do you know anything about their home?
Holcomb. They lived in Holcomb.
Oh, okay. So they lived in Holcomb, but they came here to
Yeah.
work. Got it. Was your father able to go to school here?
I think he only went as far as up to the 5th grade,
Okay.
and then he had to work.
What did he do for work?
The sugar beet.
Oh, did he do that his whole life?
Well, no. As time went by, for some reason, I found out him and my uncle Manuel Garcia, they started working at a body shop called Brutus Body Shop. And my dad did learn how to do the spray painting on the cars while my uncle did the body work. So they've been there a long, long time.
I think you told me that also he worked at a packing plant later on.
As the years went by, he went to, I can't think of the name of it, but it burned down. But he worked at the when they found out he was the painter, well, he kind of like painted the whole building to himself.
Really?
He was a good painter.
And he kept the machinery painted too, or was it more of the building?
Well, he had to pay the inside too. If there was any rust, he had to paint over the rust. They couldn't. How do I say? They couldn't do the work. Everything had to be clean. So my dad did most of the painting around the building to where they had to go over the rust to where they could start working on the pea plant.
I see. What else about your dad? Did he play music?
Oh God, yeah.
Tell me about music.
He played the guitar. He played the saxophone, and he played the drums. But he was real good on the guitar.
What kind of music?
Well, American and Mexican. But he was good. And then my uncle Manuel, well, he played the bass, the old-fashioned bass.
Uh-huh.
And they had a band. One of fact, all the guys that they grew up with, they all got together and they were called the Aces.
The Aces?
Uh-huh. But they were good. They were real good because they played everywhere. They even went up to Colorado to play. They were good.
That's great. And did they already have a festival here in town? Do you remember anything about the history of the Mexican fiesta?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It started as I remember when I was started in the fiesta, it was at the tennis court at the Fenton Park. It started out real big. It was Friday and Saturday. And as years went by, I guess people complaining about the noise, so they moved the fiesta over there by where the American Legion is at, across the street. And they built that there.
Did your dad's band play in the fiesta?
Once.
Okay.
And then they start hiring some other professional band each year. But it was good.
Uh-huh.
It was good.
We'll talk more about the fiesta when we get to your life. Tell me a little bit now about your mom and her family.
My mother was an Alonzo. That was her maiden name. And part of her was Spaniard. But they grew up in Lamar.
Colorado.
Yeah. Yes. And my uncle, they worked in the well, not beef plant, but where they work on cattle.
Mm-hmm.
And my uncle and also did some farming too.
This was in Colorado?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so your mother grew up there, but her family also came from Mexico originally?
They didn't talk very much about it, but she had she had some brothers and sisters, but I think they did because they were all Spanish speaking at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And as time went by, they learned how to speak English, and how they did that, they were reading comic books so they could learn how to pronounce the words, So there were a lot of Superman and
Uh-huh.
Batman they had.
Do you know where either side of your family came from in Mexico?
Honestly, I sure don't.
Okay.
I sure don't.
That just got lost somewhere.
Uh-huh.
Okay. How did your parents meet?
Well, my dad was playing in a band in Colorado, and my mother was at the dance, and that's how they met, So,
And what happened next?
well, they kept playing over there at that one spot. My mother kept going there, and that's how before you know it, they got pretty involved to where they were dating, and they got married.
And then he brought her to Garden City?
He brought her to Garden City.
Okay. Did she ever talk to you about her first impressions of moving here and what she thought of it?
Well, it was different. It took her a while to get used to it and settle with the family. Everybody's different, but she got used to it. But she learned a lot from my aunt. More cooking. And my aunt was a great cook, but my mother learned a lot from her too. She was pretty good. She was a housewife.
What kind of food did they cook?
Well, we had a lot of homemade tortillas and beans. With a lot of like enchiladas,
Uh-huh.
tacos. We did, it was all Mexican food.
Yeah.
And Spanish rice. I grew up with that, but I ate a lot of eggs with the way she cooked, when she made her breakfast, but it was all Mexican style until I went to school, and then I ended up learning how to eat American food.
What language did you speak at home?
Well, I was learning a little bit of Spanish until I went to school. And at the time, the nuns told my parents no more English.
Or no more Spanish?
Yeah, I mean, Spanish, I meant. And ever since then, I've been talking English, then I forgot how to speak Spanish. And I still talk very, very little Spanish. So my wife is my interpreter.
Do you regret that you didn't get to continue speaking Spanish?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did your parents speak Spanish to each other or
At times.
at times?
At times.
Okay. Tell me a little bit more about your childhood now, your earliest memories, what life was like at home, where you lived.
I was home a lot, and grew up with the neighborhood kids.
What neighborhood were you in?
Close to the cemetery, 7th Street.
Okay.
Matter of fact, we were the only Hispanic in that area, and I grew up with the neighbors, and we played baseball, football, you name it. It was the guys and girls at the time. Even the girl played football with us, So it was a good neighborhood. It was nice.
And you were the only Hispanic family in the neighborhood?
At that time over there, yeah.
Was there a different neighborhood with other Hispanic families, or what was the population like at the time?
Not very much, but most of the Hispanic were on the west side of town.
Okay.
close to the railroad tracks. And where the zoo is at, there was a lot of Hispanics there too.
What brought them here?
I don't know.
Okay.
Really, I don't know. I guess maybe people, they like Garden City.
Mm-hmm.
My father-in-law had a good job uh, working on vehicles too. And he was an upholstery man for Milhon Motors at the time.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about starting to dance.
When I was small, I ended up dancing in the fiesta, which I was taught by my grandfather. And he was the lead man teaching all the kids how to dance. And when I was dancing, well, each year went by, I kept dancing and dancing, and till I decided I had enough. But my grandfather was a good teacher.
This was your father's father?
Yes.
Okay. What kind of dancing was it?
Mexican. Oh, I can't pronounce the name, but it was all. We had a dress Mexican style.
What did you wear?
We were dressed up, but we was at a group, and we learned how to do the dance that my grandfather told us to do. But then, after a while, he couldn't do it. Then my aunt, which happened to be his daughter, took over, and she taught us how to dance. But we were good. We ended up going out of town too on account of her, that we were doing some dancing for them.
Really,
people.
to perform for other communities?
Uh-huh.
So when you grew up, how did you feel about being Mexican American?
It was kind of scary at times, but we had to watch where we were going, because it was like a test. There was a little bit of prejudice, you know. So we knew where to go, and we knew where not to go. But at times I grew up with some people from the Catholic school. I had friends there, and their good percent was all Caucasian, to where really I didn't have that much problem. I grew up with people that were pretty well known in Garden City, but I had no problem.
Mm-hmm. What kind of prejudice did you experience when you said it was kind of rough sometimes?
Well, I don't want to mention no name, but there was a place here to where we couldn't go in and have ice cream, or it was in town, and there was some hamburger place too, stand that to where we were pretty well treated pretty bad, to where we could still order, but just how they treated us, how we were served.
Mm-hmm.
So at a certain time, my dad said, "That's it. We're not going there no more."
Mm-hmm. Did your parents talk about it very much with you and how to manage situations?
Well,
What did they advise?
if they were upset, there was in Spanish, and I know when they talk in Spanish and a certain type of, how do you say, if they were talking loud, I knew they were upset.
Yeah.
But they didn't say things to me that it was bad. They just told me not to go there no more.
I see. Talk to me a little bit now about school. Where did you go to school?
I went 8 years in Catholic school. And after that, then I went to junior high. It wasn't called Abe Hubert then. It was just called the junior high school. Then I went 2 years in high school. Then I was hanging around with the wrong crowd at the time, so I quit. And
well, we'll get to there, but first let me ask you about Catholic school. Was your family Catholic, I imagine?
Oh, yeah.
And did you go to church?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 6 o'clock in the morning at that time.
Which church did you go to?
St. Mary's.
St. Mary's. Was that a mixed church? Was it Mexicans or whites or everybody together?
No, it was mixed.
It was mixed.
Yeah.
And so there was no segregation in the church?
No.
Okay. And they,
I'm sorry, but as a matter of fact, I even served mass. I was a server uh, in at St. Mary's,
nice.
so I did a lot of that. But the nuns, well, they were very, very strict, so we had to do what they said.
This is when you were in school.
Oh yeah,
How did you like school?
it was rough. It was rough. I oh God, I never went to kindergarten. And then when I went to the first grade, all of a sudden somebody called my mother saying he needs to go to school. What? Well, when I went to first grade, school, I didn't know. I had a hard time with the ABCs and whatever because I was never taught.
Mm,
So it was rough,
yeah,
very, very rough.
that's a hard beginning.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. But you made it through? The,
Yeah, I made it through, and I had friends that helped me.
okay. And then you went to junior high. Tell me a little bit about kind of what your family life was like. You had two younger sisters. Did you all have meals together? Did you go to work early on? How did you spend your?
Well, we were a family. We all ate together.
Uh-huh.
My sister was very, very smart. She learned a lot from what we went through, and she did things to where I went through. She didn't want to go through that, and she learned quick. And then I had a baby sister named Monica. Uh, she did good too. So I was the oldest one in the family.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Did you play together? Did you?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
What kinds of things did you do for fun?
Baseball, football.
Yeah, okay. I think you told me you also had a bicycle.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to ride all around
All
town.
over town.
Did you have chores or small jobs that you did?
Well, cutting the lawn. Our area wasn't very, very big. Matter of fact, like I said, we were the first one out there, Hispanic, but where I lived at on North Main or north side of town, there wasn't very many houses at that time. And the big thing at the time was Briar Hill. And that was way down about half mile from where I was at. It was considered high class. But where I was at, it was all mixed too. But we had no problem. We had no problem.
You cut lawns for people there in Briar Hill or mowed?
Well, no, not at that time. I was just at home.
Okay.
I was a homeboy.
I thought you had said that you sometimes cut grass and got.
As years went by, yeah. Now I do.
Oh, now you do.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have a heart of gold because I've been coming people's house. I do it for nothing.
Uh-huh.
People that are of age to where they can't move. I cut the grass. I watch the house. Yeah, I do house sitting for them, but I never did charge them. I was happy with the soda pop they gave me. I didn't do no charge.
Where did you learn those values of taking care of other people? And
I learned that from my mother.
yeah, did
Yeah,
she do
she had a heart of gold. She did things for people. When I was young, we had in a restaurant, and I see somebody with a wheelchair or cane, or I got up and she made me open the door for them. And if people need to leave, they had a hard time, I opened the door for them too, and help them sit down. I learned that very young.
That's wonderful. So your mother had an influence on you.
Mm-hmm.
Did you learn to play an instrument?
Yes. From my dad, I learned the guitar and I played the drums. And that's how I met my wife when I was playing in a band.
Oh, the story repeats itself.
Yeah, it's kind of like history repeat itself.
Right.
My wife, her name is Elaine. She went to school here, and I didn't meet her until, like I said, when we were playing in a band, and she was just going into junior high, and ever since then we met. It was her uncle that had the band, and I played with him, and ever since then we've been seeing each other, and we dated, and we were going out for years and years until I went to the military. And then I came home on leave and we got married when I was still in the military.
Interesting. So her family was also musical? Her uncle, anyway?
Her uncle. And her dad was a businessman. He did upholstery and he sold cars for Milhon Motors at that time. But and then her mother was a housewife. And I learned a lot from her cooking too.
Her family is Mexican too?
Oh, yeah.
And do you know anything about their story of coming to Garden City?
Well, her grandfather was Gregorio, and he came here from Mexico too. But he worked for Bell Telephone as a custodian, been there for years and years till he retired. But he was the president of the Mexican Fiesta at the time. And so he had a lot of pull for the Fiesta. And a lot of people knew him to where he was kind of like, well respected.
When did the Fiesta start? What was the history of it? Do you have any idea?
Way back, God, I don't know what year, but it was my wife's uncle that started it. And then ever since then, years went by. We had our fiesta, but it was good. The way he did it was the original way of, we all had to dress up and they had a stand but he was I forgot his name, my gosh. But it was her uncle, great uncle that started the.
Would everybody come, the whole of Garden City, or was it mostly just the Mexican
Well, we had
community?
There was a lot of people came over because we had a good concession stand. And
Yeah, good
boy, I tell you
concessions.
what, people were eating good.
Good Mexican food.
Oh God, yeah.
What else was there? There was dancing. There was
Concessions.
concessions.
But they had a program, and I was in it too. 'Cause when they had a program before the dance, we all had to show that we were dancing the Mexican way.
Nice. Is it still happening every year?
Well, yeah, once a year now. It's on a Saturday, and they have a parade. As Angelica Chapel is doing it now, and she did a good job. But it's only one day. It's on a Saturday. They have the big fiesta, and she does a real good job on the fiesta. And then we have the concession stand in Stevens Park now, and they do the show there at the stand. But the way she does it real good, but it's just only a one-day deal.
And more Mexicans and Hispanics came to Garden City.
Oh, God, yeah.
When did you start noticing that? Was that as you were in high school or younger?
Yes, ma'am. As far as I know, they were all coming in from Texas. But it was pretty good because they had, before you know it, they started their own business. And they had restaurants, and they did body work. That matter of fact, at that time, they started their own tortilla factory here. I forgot the name of the person on that too, but he was busy when he started his Mexican siesta. I mean, Mexican tortilla.
Uh-huh. How was that for you as you were growing up and the Mexican community was growing? Did that feel good to have a bigger community around you, or did you feel that people's attitudes were changing?
Slowly, but it was getting good. I never had no problem when I was growing up because I had a lot of the friends that, I had a lot of friends that male and female, that we did real good.
Uh-huh.
I had no problem.
Okay. So when you get to junior high and then to high school, you said you got in a little bit with the wrong crowd. What does that mean?
Well, I wasn't nothing really serious. I just never did the right things, and my dad got really upset about it. And
Did you stop going to school, or did you get bad grades, or what happened?
well, at that time I just didn't care,
Mm.
and that was bad. And my dad didn't like that, so he grabbed me by the collar one time and took me to the selective service and volunteered me for the draft.
What year was that?
Oh God, I was 20 years old, but I forgot what year it was. But
Well, if you were born 1947, that would have been 67. So the draft was, the Vietnam War was going on.
Yes. Can I talk about that?
Sure.
Well, okay. When he volunteered me for the draft, I went to the physical in Denver, and when I passed, right away they flew me to Seattle. I couldn't come home, so I had to call my mother. Mom, I'm not coming home. They're taking me. And she started crying. I started crying too. And that's where I learned to grow up. They were my mother and father. And I learned the yes and no, the yes sir, no ma'am. That was my basic in Seattle. Then I went to Fort Sam Houston, where they taught me, where I ended up being a combat medic. And when we passed, and I thought we were all going to Vietnam. Well, they sent us to Germany instead. Yeah. And I couldn't figure out why Germany. And so, well, we need guys there too. We had to keep our eyes on Russia. Because they weren't angels too, because they were supplying all the weapons to the Vietnam. Mm-hmm. But when I went there, I learned to be an X-ray tech.
X-ray tech, okay.
I was a dental assistant. I was an EMS driver. And that's where I learned to do surgery. So all the things I did, I learned from Uncle Sam. And I had no choice. I had to learn. But on account of Uncle Sam, I did real good when I came home. Mm-hmm. And then I got certified here as a surgical tech. And I've been at the hospital here ever since then for 47 years. Wow. And I retired.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Well, so your father, was it a good decision of his to...
I tell you what, I was so upset with him. God, I was...
Yeah.
I got to tell you something that's really kind of funny, because I had a Ford maroon and silver top. It was a nice looking car. I had a 64 Ford. And then when I came home, because I told you my dad was a painter, he wanted to surprise me. So when I looked, oh, Dad, he painted my car green. When I was in the military, it was all green, and then when I came home,
you didn't like
I had to see green again. Oh, thank you, Dad.
He meant well. But maybe it was a good thing. I mean, lucky that you didn't end up in Vietnam.
Well, I tell you what, a lot of people was calling us cowards, but if Uncle Sam you're going, we would have went.
Sure.
We had no choice. But since we came home, we had no respect. A lot of people didn't like us.
I was going to ask you what the reception was like.
It wasn't very good. As soon as I came home, there was a guy he was dressed in the military. outfit, and it was in Wichita at the airport, and some teenager came up to the guy and called him a baby killer, and it really bothered him quite a bit. He went to the bathroom and took his outfit off and he was wearing warm-ups he bought there at the airport, and everything he had that was military he threw in the trash.
Hmm. Did you have friends who went to Vietnam from here?
Some.
Mm-hmm. And did they come back? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, they survived. And they had a similar experience, you think, coming back?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's hard.
But I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go
Well,
ahead.
I have friends that went to Afghanistan. Years went by. These were friends with my wife, and they didn't have very good luck. Yeah. You just don't know.
You just don't know.
Don't know. But I lucked out. And
how were you treated being Mexican American in the military? Was that an issue, or did you feel everybody was treated equally?
It was a problem because the black people at the time, when in the '60s, they were being real treated bad. Some of them was always using that black power, and they used it wasn't very good. There was a lot of hate between the whites and the blacks when I was in the military.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty bad at that time. It was, like I said, it was the late '60s.
What's your feeling about it today? Has that gotten better, you think? Or
Yes, ma'am. Much better.
Okay. So you feel there's less prejudice today?
In some ways, I think in the things that's going on TV now, I hear people getting shot and killed. It's kind of like '60s coming back again.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not good. And like I said, this is not the truth. I pray every night. And my wife can tell you, honey, I tell her, I'm going to say my rosary. And then hoping for things to get better. Pray for my two sisters that passed away. When I pray for everybody. And that is the truth. I do pray.
Tell me now a little bit, Eppy, about coming back to Garden City and your life. You go to work at St. Catherine's right away after you get certified.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I worked with every doctor that was here. And I worked with a general surgeon. His name was Dr. Miller, and he was in the military.
What was his name?
Dr. Miller.
Okay.
And he was a general surgeon in Vietnam. And when he found out I was in the military, I worked with him a lot. And his rank, I had, yes, sir, no, sir. That's the way he was.
What exactly did you do at the hospital? What were your tasks?
Surgical tech, I handle the instruments. When they need it, I pass. At times I did some assisting, but not as much. But when they need the instruments, I have it ready for them.
Okay.
When they ask for it, I got it right in their hand.
I'm very curious to hear what kinds of surgeries you saw.
I did all kinds. I tell you, for Garden City, we did a lot. I've done a lot to where if I could write a book, we did some things here that was unbelievable, the things that I done.
Can you give me a few examples?
Oh, gosh. There's a young boy, wasn't happy, he shot himself, and we took his kidney for somebody else. Stabbing. People I know real well that had cancer. That was hard.
Mm-hmm.
But I did a little bit of everything. Tonsils. I did kids with pediatric. I did OB, C-sections. Uh, I did a lot of colonoscopies, endoscopies. I did that quite a bit before I retired.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like you saw some sad things, though. You saw some suicide, stabbings, any gunshot wounds?
Oh yeah, did that too. Matter of fact, and he's a friend of mine, but he had surgery. He got shot, and every time I see him, he will yell, "Hey, that guy saved my life!" And it just, oh gosh, But you remember me when we put him to sleep that I said we'll take good care of you. And when he woke up, and he'll never forget that. Every time he sees me, he yells, "Hey, that guy saved my life!"
Wow, that must make you feel good.
Well, yeah, he did.
So, what kinds of things? I guess I'm curious about how the changes in Garden City, all the new immigrants coming, how that changed your work at the hospital. Did you see different kinds of um, problems or issues that came in?
There really wasn't a problem. They were good. The Asians,
Mm-hmm.
black people from Africa, but the communication was a little problem. But we used our hand, tried to communicate, but it was pretty good because I learned some things from them too. That how come I didn't learn that? But they were nice. They were good. We got along pretty good.
Was there translation services? Did the hospital start to bring in translators for
Yeah.
people who
Yes,
didn't
yes,
speak
ma'am.
English?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what about their feelings about doctors? Did people have different beliefs about doctors and healthcare coming from different countries? Was it anything you encountered?
Well, they were
Different.
specialized, so there was no problem.
Okay.
They were good.
Were there specific kinds of injuries or problems you saw that came from, I don't know, working in the feedlot or the packing plants?
Mhm. Yes, there was.
Like what?
Well, there was a gentleman. He got trampled by a bull, and
Got trampled by a bull?
uh and we took out his spleen because it was bleeding. But things like that. There was
Mm-hmm.
broken legs, broken arms.
From working in the feedlot?
Mm-hmm.
How about the packing plants? Were there
Same
certain
thing.
injuries?
Same way.
But those, I imagine, happened from machinery more than animals, or
No,
no?
no. But the
Okay.
feedlot, yes.
Okay. Any other stories you want to tell that you remember about your 47 years?
Well, my first job was my dad was the one that got it for me. Working for Spencer's Food Market. It was a grocery store here. And that was my first job. But that's when I started knowing more people because I carried the groceries and that I did the sacking and helped people find things. But that's how I knew more people that went to the grocery store. Then I made a lot of friends.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew more about the vegetables. and But that was my first job.
Okay.
And then after that, I worked at a manufacturing. It was called Ansel Manufacturing, where they make cabs for combine and tractors. And that's when I learned how to did welding. That and that was it. And then after that, that's when my dad got pretty upset with me to where I was always in trouble too. So that's where then I went to the military.
Is there anything specific you got in trouble for?
Oh, oh, how do I say this?
You don't have to say it if you don't
No, no,
want
no,
to.
it's okay. We put potatoes on people's tailpipes,
Oh,
and we got caught though. I'm of course, like you said, small town there, but Eppy did it, and that's how I got in trouble. And smearing people's windshields, uh,
say that again.
smearing,
Uh-huh.
with eggs.
Oh, smearing the windshields with
Yeah, that was a
eggs.
big no-no. My dad, like I said, was not happy.
Did the police ever get involved?
Oh God, yeah. But that was not a good thing because I knew them, they knew me. And Eppy, when are you going to learn to stop doing that? So, but everybody knew everybody here.
Uh-huh.
And I knew the police and I knew the sheriff.
So you had two children of your own. You adopted two
Hmm.
children. What did you tell them about behaving and misbehaving, given the experience you had?
Well, my wife did most of that.
Mm-hmm.
I played with them. Uh, my daughter now is Texas, San Antonio. My son, well, he travels everywhere he he went overseas to see what it was like. And he came back afterwards and start working again, traveling. So he's not one spot all the time. He does what he wants to do.
Mm-hmm. Do you have advice for young kids when they get into trouble and hang out with the wrong
Oh
crowd?
yes.
What's your lesson or your advice to kids?
Well, I told him, yeah, I did that. Don't do that. It's not nice, and especially when they talk, have respect for elders. You know, they just the way there's no respect around the way they talk, real bad.
Mm-hmm.
It has changed because we didn't do that in our younger days.
Mm-hmm.
And if an elder heard us talk like that, we were lectured. Well, which we did learn from them, but now it's different. It's just the kids say they want to say and they get away with it.
Mm-hmm. Your kids grew up in Garden City too.
Hmm.
How was their experience growing up here? Do you think it was similar to yours or different?
It was different. Uh, they learned a lot, and my son was pretty smart. He was good with arithmetic. But if people had problems, what's this and the measurement, and what date, or he had a good memory. He get called and they asked him a lot
Mm-hmm.
about what it was like in the numbers on mathematics.
I'm curious, though, to know if they had similar experiences of prejudice or discrimination that you felt in your own childhood. Or do
It
you
was
think
different. They didn't have that problem.
they didn't?
Uh,
So Garden City has changed
oh God,
in
yeah,
that way?
quite a bit.
What are some of the changes you've also seen in attitudes, but also just in the
Well, attitudes and the places you go to, the restaurants, uh, dances, it, it has changed. Though the recreational was young, where all the kids from school, uh, at that time we couldn't dance, mixed dance, when I was going to school. Come to think of it, yeah, they didn't let us dance with the white girls, or the girls couldn't dance with the Mexicans, or it had to be what we couldn't dance, we couldn't mix dance
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
at that time. But now it's all different.
So the segregation was in your lifetime didn't exist for your kids, or the mixing
No,
was better.
it's
Mm-hmm.
better now.
There's been a lot of other immigrants from all over the world who've
Hmm.
come here. Um, how is that in your world? Does the Mexican community mix with the Vietnamese or with the African, or does everybody sort of stay in their own?
Yes. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I have a friend, his daughter is going dating a Vietnamese, but his mother makes good egg rolls. But they're happy. And they're in college now. She's going to, in Topeka, and he's in, not too far. KU, I think. Washburn, she's going to. I can't think of that school, but it's Washburn. So they're not too far apart, but they're good friends. We're close. But I got some other friends that are they're Vietnamese, some for Africa when I was working at the hospital. But we ain't had no problem. Now,
what do you think helped it change, or how do you think people learn to let go of prejudice?
That's hard to say. It just happened all of a sudden. I made friends when I was making salsa for people. And I do it for fun. I don't charge. They all say, you had to charge, but I don't. I'll make a lot of salsa for the people at the hospital, people at certain clubs, and I enjoy doing it, but I made a lot of friends doing that.
I bet. It's a good way to connect with people through food.
Yeah.
Do you still play music?
No, not anymore. I had an accident.
Oh.
I was making a table quote rack for my wife's friend, and somehow I accidentally cut my finger, so I can't play guitar no more.
No. All of a sudden you were a patient at the hospital and not.
Yeah, that's another thing, And then when I woke up, because I had ink marks all over my body, and my friends,
Any other hospital stories that you want to share?
Well, I worked 1 year in Dodge City.
Okay.
Humana at the time. And I worked in surgery there, and I did a lot of C-sections there. And I did some orthopedics. But Dodge City, when they knew I was from Garden, it was, oh boy. So I came back. And Garden City's always been my hometown.
Are you glad that you've always lived here?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Are there any other places you thought of living other than?
I loved Montana. We went visiting a friend of mine in Polson, Montana. Beautiful. God, it was beautiful. And then I met some Indians, which just happened to be an Indian nation over there. And it was nice, but it's beautiful. Boy, that place. And if I had my chance, I move over there. It's gorgeous.
What's it called?
Polson, Montana.
Okay.
It's in between Kalispell and another famous place,
What do you think makes Garden City special or unique?
Well, they changed the swimming pool. The restaurants, the zoo, and we're doing more things. Knights of Columbus, I joined. We make beer rocks once a year for the Oktoberfest, and then we make sausage for the groundhog supper. So I like doing that, but everybody comes in, help support us, and Knights of Columbus is a good thing. Well, I'm in that with that group too.
So you retired, and then what have you done since retirement?
Well, I was working part time, not working when I was doing part time as a cross guard
Mm-hmm.
for the school with a stop sign. So I did that for 2 years. So I decided when my wife retired, I wanted to be with her. So her and I are doing things together a lot, which is we are doing remodeling our house now because her and I are doing it.
Wow.
So I
What did
enjoy
she
that.
do for work? What did Elaine do for work?
She worked at the school district.
Uh-huh.
She was a secretary,
I see.
and she'd been there for 30, close to 40 years,
Wow.
and she retired.
I bet she has some stories
Yeah.
about Garden City and working
Oh
in the
yeah.
schools. Well, what do you hope for Garden City's future and the future of the Hispanic community in particular here?
Well, some of the people I know have got their own business that are doing good. One is into house painting, uh, restaurant. My aunt or my cousin now owns El Rapi. They're busy. Uh, Retail stores, uh, selling cars, uh, with their own business, and but it's getting good.
Mm-hmm. So it's a good life here, you think,
Oh yeah,
today for you and for your community?
oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Are there any fears you have about the future?
I like it. What's going on now? Uh,
So you don't have any fears about the future of Garden City, or
I like it the way it is.
you like it the way it is? Um, what would you advise young kids?
Well, just do the right thing. Learn the do's and don'ts. And if you're happy with what you're doing, do it. Uh, just like I said, just learn the do's and don'ts.
And how about when you have to deal with somebody's prejudice or discrimination?
Well, I just let it go through. Just let them know. Okay, you make your point. You say your this and I'll say mine. But after a while, as time goes by, we see each other. And I've had a few of that were pretty prejudiced to where I didn't do much fighting, but I argued. But as time went by, then before you know it, we became good friends.
Hmm.
That they knew my ways, I knew their ways, and learned to respect it. But as for other people, they get pretty violent, But I talk my way out of it. But
Violence is not the answer.
no.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to tell me about Garden City and your life here? Anything I haven't asked you about? Cooking. Sounds like you like to cook a lot.
Yeah, I I do that a lot at home.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I make the salsa all the time. But yes, I do like cooking, and I hate saying it, but I think I'm better than my wife.
What are your hopes for your children as they go through life? And
Well,
do you want them to stay connected to Garden City? Do you want them to stay connected to their Hispanic roots?
like I said, my daughter's just in Texas, and my son is where he will go travel. But I'm really close to my grandkids, very, very close. I got three granddaughters, and matter of fact, I adopted my grandson, and he going through sometimes working. But as for my granddaughter, I'm more close to my granddaughters. But they call me dad, and they call my mother my wife's mother, and we're there for them a lot.
Are they here in
No,
town?
no,
No, they're in
no.
Texas.
One is in Emporia,
Okay.
Hobson, New Mexico, with her dad, and Springfield, Missouri.
Hmm.
But they call every time, and we call them every time. But we let them know we love them.
Hmm. Well, thank you very much for letting me interview you.
Well, thank you.
Is there anything else you'd like to share or say to your grandkids directly, or hopes that you have for them in their lifetime?
Well, they're happy right there, right now,
Mhm.
what they're doing. Very happy. And I'm happy for them. But do the right thing, that's all. And as for Garden City, I like it. And I'll keep on making it solid for anybody that wants it. That's my hobby. And I don't charge. They think I should, but I won't.
All right. Well, I'll have to try some of your salsa sometime.
Oh, by George, I sure will. And him too.
All right. Thank you, Eppy.
Well, thank you.